Hey, my name's James Dixon. I hope you guys are well. In this video, I want to share the housing news. What is going on? This is the housing news for January 2024. It's been a crazy busy month. I would have thought with Christmas and New Year in the way that they would have just relaxed a little bit, given us some time to celebrate with our family. But oh no, a hell of a lot happened in the last 4 weeks. So we're going to talk about that and more. I've got talk on interest rates, where they've ended up, house prices, leasehold reform. There's tons of stuff. What else have we got? Inflation. Crazy. We need to go through all of this stuff. So let's talk about that and more. But before we jump into it, as always, if you haven't done already, do smash that subscribe button over there and hit that bell notification. Have a look around this video. You'll see how close we are. Very close to getting 20,000 subscribers. You can help me get there that little bit faster. And while you're here, you guys know what's next. Smash that like button or tickle a like button. Whatever you fancy doing to the like button, just do something until it turns blue. That helps me massively with the YouTube algorithm. I want to thank everyone that's done that in 23. You helped me get 2 million views on the channel. This year, we want to get more. We want to get 5 million views. So make sure you help me with that. So what is going on? A lot is going on and has happened in the last few weeks. So first off, I want to talk about the leasehold reform. Leasehold, you know what that says. Not very good at writing. Leasehold reform. So what's going on with that? Well, they're talking, in the King's Speech, they're talking about making it so you can extend your lease from 90 years to 990 years, meaning you never have to worry about it again. You can challenge the service charge and you can get more transparency on what the costs are. That's going to be very important as well. If you extend your lease, you can get rid of ground rent, which is very important as well. They're talking about potentially getting rid of ground rent in total. And when this happened in the King's Speech, a lot of people said, look, this won't go through. This will take years to go through. Well, they've shown that this is one of their top 3 agendas that the Conservatives have prior to the election. Remember, they're doing everything they can to get the election won in 2024. And so they've already had 2 hearings on this, and one of them happened at the end of December. So this is moving along at record speed, which is really, really good to see if you're a leaseholder. Now, if you're a freeholder, not so good, because that means the value of your freehold could drop significantly. So that's one that we'll have more updates on this month. So if that's interesting to you and you want to extend your lease or just know how it works, subscribe so you don't miss out on that. Next is the Bank of England rates. So Bank of England rate was held again at 5.25%. That was the 3rd time that they've held rates at 5.25%. Remember, we had 14 consecutive increases prior to that. The bank have kind of indicated that rates have peaked. What was interesting, the Americans, the Federal Reserve, in their meeting, they actually said we're going to drop interest rates, which was very, very interesting. Now, they were predicting that they might drop interest rates 3 times in a year. The markets in America feel the Fed will drop 5 times in 2024. Now, why is that important to you as an investor, homeowner, someone that rents even in the UK? Well, we follow the Fed. That's what normally happens. We have to have our interest rate fairly similar to them because our currencies are aligned. We can't go massively out from what they're doing. So if they start dropping rates, you can be certain that we will start dropping rates fairly soon after. So that's really, really good here. Inflation finally is on the way down, and inflation had a nice big drop in December. I'm going to do a video that I'm going to record it in a minute. You'll see that tomorrow about inflation. So inflation dropped to 3.9%, which was really good to see. Not out the water, but it does mean the Bank of England have said where we're at is restrictive. So the interest rates are causing pain, which means we're not spending so much and means that they're unlikely to need to increase them again. Just time now will mean that inflation could eventually start seeing the back of it. Once it gets to 2.5%, the target's 2, But once it gets to 2.5%, you won't see it talked about in the news. It's not going to be a big deal then. It's not sexy. It was sexy and interesting as a headline when it's at 11%. So that's going to be good that we'll start to see that moving. Now, there is some concerns about inflation. We've got a war with Israel, not with Israel, in Israel and Gaza. We've got the Russian war still going on. That all of those regions are impacted by oil prices and stuff like that. But oil is actually dropping and has been dropping significantly. If you drive past the petrol station now, it's way cheaper. And so that's positive. So that really should help us. Next, interest rates. So mortgage rates more. We'll use the term mortgage rates. So mortgage rates, we saw a bank called Generation Home that did a rate of 3.94%. 3.94%. That, I actually called that one, and some of you noticed that. I said that was going to happen about 3 or 4 days before. And my reasoning for that was there were some rates that were right on the edge of being above 4%. And for the marketing that you and the PR that you get from that, just dropping your rate, even if it's just a smidge below 4%, this company, Generation Home, I've never heard of them, but they got all of the PR, the BBC, the Sun, the Daily Mail, all the big companies were talking about them. So the marketing they got off the back of that was worth millions for them. And that's what I knew would happen, is someone would get that headline rate just to get that attention. And these guys did. Now, since then, HSBC's dropped their rate below that. Other banks are going to do that next week as well, from what we're seeing as well. So this is good. Bank lending was down 40% at the back end of last year. Transaction volume was down 22% at the end of last year, meaning that banks don't have transactions, so they're fighting for your business at the moment. That's what you want as a consumer, as an investor. So that's really, really positive news to see that what's happening. Now, interesting stuff on house prices. So December's prices, we had Nationwide saying they didn't move, and we had Halifax saying they were up 1.1%. So pretty much, well, that's a flat market. That's not bad, 1.1% up. Now that takes a bit of pain out of any drop. So if we have a 1% drop this month, next month, or March, then that really helps with that, to give people that little bit extra security and comfort blanket there. Let's talk about house prices for the year. And so Nationwide, this is interesting. Different lenders, different people that they will lend to and stuff like that. Nationwide said house prices were down 1.8% for the whole year. Halifax, what did they say? Well, they said house prices were up 1.7% for the year, and that's obviously fed into that number there. That was interesting data to see. In summary, it is pretty much a flat market in 2023. That isn't what anyone was expecting. I was calling 8%. Halifax was saying 8% down. I revised that to 5% midway through the year. I revised it to 3% down at the end of the year, and still all of us were wrong. The market was way stronger, way more resilient than we were expecting. What else has been going on? Well, Rightmove's had their busiest day ever. Their traffic on the 28th of December was the most that they've ever had to date. New listings were up 47% against last 2022's Boxing Day surge. And that is an indication that maybe there's more people looking to get back into the market and finally sell now, or we might have some distressed sellers coming through. If we've got distressed sellers coming through, you'll see price cuts and you'll see the market go down. Myself, I feel the market's going to drop the first 6 months and recover at the back end of next year, but no one knows for sure what will happen. But there is more property for sale at the moment than there was in December, significantly more. And so that'll be interesting to see what happens with prices going forward. Let me know your thoughts on all of this. What stands out to you? It's a January news session, but a lot's happened already this year, and a lot happened since our last update in December. Let me know your thoughts. What do you think is going to happen in the next few months? Do get involved in all the conversations. I personally reply to every comment on the channel. Do smash the like button, subscribe, hit the bell. Let's get to 20,000 subscribers. And while you're here, go and check out some more content now. We've got more than 600 videos. Why don't you go and watch this one right here?